Hi everybody. Off today, it's Saturday. Not too much, probably go do the groceries later. But I thought we'd come on and talk about I suppose the doubts that I have and how I suppose I've got here. I don't know, I'm just a person that has a bit of life experience in certain things. I did not want those certain things. So I'm just a normal person, nothing special. But I believe God is telling me to set up on a platform to talk about my experiences to help someone else. And yeah, I woke up and I was like, oh Lord, you really, really want me to do this? Is this really what you want me to do? Like, I remember a couple of months ago I'd listened to this YouTube channel, Devon Keeps Going. He's really good. And he'd said something about YouTube like months ago, and I was like, that's not for me. Like, I'm not that person. I don't even really do a lot of social media. But I was like, Lord, is this what you want me to do? And as I was starting putting makeup on this morning, it brought back to memory. A few days ago, I had wrote some stuff down about Peter. So it was a lot about Peter coming up. So this is after Christ's crucifixion, and he appears to them on the boat on the beach while they had gone back fishing. So it spent a couple of years with Jesus, like parading about, learning all of his ways, seeing all his miracles, and then Jesus was dead and that was it. And they were like, what the heck was that all about? And I suppose in our own minds we're like, well, I suppose me in my own mind I would have been like, right, well, he's gone, so just go back to work, because like, what else do we do? And that is what they done. So where was this? I think it was, it's in John. Yeah, so let me go to John here. Hopefully I've highlighted all this stuff. Yeah. Sorry, it probably would have been better if I had this. So I want to read it from here. Yeah, so it's the Gospel of John. It's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and it's 21. 21. 21 chapters in John. Yeah. Okay. So 21 and 15. So this Bible is the Life Application Bible, New International Version. It's a pretty good Bible for anybody that's not sure like what the verses mean, because at the bottom of the Bible it gives you a section and explains things, which I find really helpful. And this was gifted to me somebody in my church. I have a different Bible that I bought years ago, and he said that he was cleaning out his bookshelf, and God told him to give me this Bible. So here we are, and I go back and forward between the two, and I have an app, and there's loads of other versions on that too. So there's plenty of, if you don't understand, go and look at a different translation, and it'll help you understand. So 21 verse. We'll start at 15, but before that, basically, Jesus appears on the shore, and John shouts to Peter, "It's the Lord." And as soon as Simon Peter heard him say that, "It's the Lord," and he wrapped his outer garment around him because he had taken it off, and jumped into the water and been beaten after Jesus. And obviously they missed him. They were like, what just happened in our lives? And he's gone. So this is then Jesus speaking to Peter, and he had cooked them fish and some bread and stuff, and they all sat down and had something to eat. It's breakfast, so it must have been quite early in the morning. This was the third time that Jesus appeared to the disciples after he was raised to the dead. So then when they had finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you truly love me more than these?" And he replies to him, "Yes, Lord." He said, "Do you know that I love you?" So, do you truly love me more than these? I don't know. He could be talking about a lot of things, but I think he was talking about the disciples, or more than these. It could have been people. And he says, "Yes, you know that I love you." And then Jesus said, "Feed my lambs," or "feed my sheep" in some translations. And again Jesus said, "Simon, son of John, do you truly love me?" And then Peter answers, "Yes, Lord, do you know that I love you?" And then Jesus is like, "Well, take care of my sheep." And the third time he said to him, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt because Jesus kept asking him, and he asked him the third time, "Do you love me?" And he said, "Yes, Lord, you know all things. You know I love you." And then Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." I tell you the truth, when you're younger, you dressed yourself and went where you wanted. But when you're old, you'll stretch out your hands, and someone else will dress you and lead you where you do not want to go. And it was talking about the type of death and stuff that Peter was going to go through. But what this means to me, and there's loads of different people that have theological arguments about those three questions that Jesus used meaning different things, and it's probably true, I don't know, but there's, the way I look at it is, maybe Peter had denied Jesus 3 times when the cockle crowed, and maybe that's a sign of redemption. The 3 times he said, "Yes, Lord, I love you." It's the opposite of what he had done before. But basically the instructions are, feed my sheep, care for my sheep, look after my people. And that's what Peter's life was. After that, he went and he shared the gospel and taught the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then it says in that section about when you were young, you done what you wanted. And when I was young, I did what I wanted. Not in a bad way, but I enjoyed my life. I had my kids, and I lived my life, and it wasn't bad. But now I've got to this age, and we know Jesus was 33, so I'm assuming the other men were somewhere around that age, maybe a bit older, maybe a bit younger, but most, I think, generally would make sense. They seem fit. They were fishers, so they seem fit. So I don't know, between 30s, 40s, I don't know. And I've now reached the age of 40, and I think what God's telling me is, now I've got to this stage in my life, it's now time for me to do his work instead of pleasing myself, I suppose. So this was going round and round and round in my mind all of last week. And in the same verses that were coming up, we live to please God, not man. So Acts 4:19, 1 Samuel 15:24, Acts 5:29. There's one in there as well. Like that first thing that Jesus said to Peter, like, do you love me more than these? Do you love me more than you love the world? And this is something that I really had to think about, is reputation. Are you willing to do this, Emma? And go on here and tell everybody your nitty gritty and tell people about what God has done in your life and share your experiences to help someone else. Do you love me enough, Emma, to forget about all the other people that were in your life that you maybe used to work with? Do you care what they think about you? And if any of them are sitting watching this now, they would probably say day and night for the person that I was over a year ago, the language I used, and just where I had got to myself, and what I had become, really angry and hateful and not nice. And now sitting here, healed, and potentially going to do something that is going to be shown worldwide, countrywide, national, local, I don't know. And once I do this, there's no going back. There's no going back. It's out there, and yeah, am I willing to do this? And then what I kept hearing all last week was, there's no going back. Once you go here, now it didn't make sense to me. It did not make, even this here, like, I'm like, oh yeah, and we'll go and, I don't know, like outreach and stuff like that, and or if someone comes by you, you know, are you gonna tell them your experiences or how God's helped you or what they can do to help their situation? I can do that one-on-one, no bother, but this here's like, I don't know, a whole other level. I have not a clue what I'm doing, but once I do this and I can't go back, I'd be tempted to go back to, and I'm not going back to my previous life. I don't care what I do, I'm not doing that. But once I start putting stuff out online, like, there's no going back. You're held accountable for what you say. And if I'm going to do this, there's a lot of stuff that you'll watch online is fake, absolutely fake. And I wouldn't have been a big one for like social media and stuff like that anyway, because anything that's seen on it, I was like, that's a lot of rubbish, absolute rubbish. It's all staged. So I think that's a lot of effort. In my mind, there's a lot of effort to stage things and to get likes and views and things like that. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to tell people the mistakes I made, how God made a way, and not once but three times now, God has come into my situation and fixed my life from my errors, the things that I knew better. It's different if someone goes through life and they don't know any better concerning God and the right way to live, or yeah. So I want to put stuff out there that is genuine and a lived experience, speaking from the heart, and it's not made up. It's fake. It's not fake. It's not made up. It's, I've lived this. This is real, and this is my life. Sorry, my daughter had just come in there to ask for something. And I took the opportunity to go and get this book. So yes, put stuff out there that's genuine, real life. And it's truth, it's not made up, it's this happened to me. These things happened to me and are very real. Some of those things I did. And they'd probably be very, very hard to confess and speak about, but I'm going to do it because I believe God wants me to. So I got up this morning and I'm still wrestling with, even after reading all this in the Bible, and it's all lining up and it made sense, it actually made sense. And then there was I was like, Lord, give me confirmation, because I'm not doing this in my own strength. I'm not doing this because I think this is a good idea. I actually don't want to do this. I actually don't want to do it. But once I started, like, I've made a few videos. I haven't posted anything online to date. Made a few videos, and I was like, this is actually fun. Like, I don't mind this. And the ideas started like banging into my head, like all the things that I could share and all the things that have happened to me, and some of them are funny and some of them are lessons and some of them are painful and some of them are, it can be very difficult to talk about, embarrassing. But I'm sure I'm not the only person who's made mistakes like this, and you know, maybe those people have thought that they could never recover from that and they might get something out of these, or it's going to help. These videos are being made to help someone, because a year ago I was in a very different situation. I wasn't eating. I dropped a lot of weight because of the stress that I was under. Wasn't too well, and you know, God healed me, restored me, fixed me in a year. The majority of people, this can take up to 3 years for them to get through a process. Not that I am anything special. I just thank God on it quick, because he wants me to like move, like do this and you've enough and crack on with it and hurry up. So that's what we're doing. Today when I opened my YouTube app, everything was like move, and I'm like, okay. And then I got this wee book from my neighbour. I love Billy Graham. I'm 40 years old. Billy was like preaching whenever I was born, so I've never met any of people that like Billy Graham, but they come up on my YouTube as shorts, and I would watch Billy Graham. I was mesmerised by him, the anointing that he had to speak to people and preach the gospel like totally shamelessly and just with power and authority, and I love Billy Graham. So this book is a Billy Graham book, and it says Hope for Each Day. It's a morning and evening devotion, and my wee neighbour bought me it because I'd helped her with her garden, and she bought this wee book, and I was so chuffed. So I was like praying this morning, Lord, give me confirmation. How much confirmation do you need? Okay, but he doesn't dislike that, because so many times he's confirmed things to me so that I know I'm on the right track and that I'm not making stuff up but working in my own strength, and that like when these are big decisions I'm like, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? Are you sure? I'll do it, but I just need to be sure. So I opened this wee book, and this was yesterday. So yesterday I made my first recording, and it was the 18th of July, so today's the 19th. So the evening devotion says a higher destiny. So it gives you a verse, Proverbs 10:29, the way of the Lord is strength for the upright. So he'll give you strength to go to your higher destiny. And it goes right down to all through the Bible we see God's patience and perseverance as he pursues misguided and obstinate men and women. Hello, it's me. Men and women who were born to a higher destiny as sons and daughters, but who strayed from his side. My story. From Genesis to Revelation, God is constantly saying, return to me and I'll return to you. It's my story. No matter how far you've strayed, God still loves you, and he wants to welcome you home forever. And I just knew when I opened that and it said a higher destiny, and that was the day. You couldn't write it. You couldn't write it. And these are the things that God shows me and does, and it's like, oh, crazy. And another thing that I had listened to during the week, it was like a prophetic message, and this woman was like, your head's going to swim, your head's going to swim. And I'm standing putting my makeup on this morning, and I was like talking to God, and I was like, Lord, do you really want me to do this? Like, I'm still not, it's not doubting. I don't think it's not doubting. It's just like, really? I don't know whether I should do this or not. And my head had ideas, and the word came to me. And as I said it to myself, I was like, my head's swimming with ideas. And as soon as I said swimming with ideas, it brought me back to the word that I had listened to during the week. Your head's going to swim. You're not going to believe it. And I was like, how many times is God going to tell me to do this? So we're going to do it afraid. We're going to do it not knowing what we're doing. And I just hope that my experiences and the things that I share on here help someone get out of the situations that they're in, hopefully to know the character of Christ and who he is and what he does for us, and be encouraged, have hope, and just to know that he is the way, the truth, and the life. And he's the only way for me. His word is truth, and he has given me a better life. I couldn't have done this on my own. I would not be sitting here in my right mind, for sure. And the only answer that I can give you is God. God. So, if you're wanting to come on this journey with me and listen to some more